Hello, friends. Yes, hello, friends, and welcome to our first ever Google Hangout at exactly 10:16. Just like the morning show, this thing starts just a little bit late. Typical Friday fare for us. Rod just got done apparently lint brushing himself.
Yes,
which is what
you never can take enough lint off of my body.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's Friday. You got to remember, this is Friday after work for us. I mean, we still have, to be honest with you, it's only 10:15, so we still have another couple hours to go easy here at the radio station, where we meet with the management types and talk to the salespeople and
Snuggle.
the men snuggle. Rod didn't get enough of that during today's show when he had to go out and hug people in order to give away Nancy's Nook prize packs.
I had no idea I was going to be a fan of man-on-man action, but
but after a while, it feels good when another fella can make you feel safe.
I say don't knock it until you try it. That's what I say.
It's a hard thing to wrap your arms around. Is what you're saying. Rod came back slightly razor burned, but
Yes.
none the worse for wear.
None at all.
So we decided we'd take some questions and just see what's going on out there. You don't mind if we drink a beer while we talk, because kind of what we would do on a Friday. We're going to. That's exactly right. If we ever do this again, we're doing it in my office where we can close the door and get our jammies on. We asked for your questions. By the way, if you want to send us a question, you can either email it to rumble@fm99.com or text it to 77,000 first word to Rumble, because we're kind of working off the phone here. So questions as they come in. Let's see here. Hangout question, dear Rumble. Oh, here you go. Rod, this is for you.
For me? Oh, wow.
It says, how do I explain most of the R-rated sports stories to my 8-year-old son every morning?
Boy, that is a great question. And the answer I would have for that is probably turn the station.
See what Dick Lamb and the Funky Bunch are doing at 7:30.
It would be boring if we just talked about, the scores, but you're right. I try not to explain anything to my daughter. I always just say, talk to your mother. So maybe that's the answer.
You know what I like about that question, though, and I get this too, is people will sometimes remark about how dicey some of the topics that we talk about are. The worst things that ever come up on the show are things that people really did. It's never anything that we made up. It's never some scenario where we get a Shetland pony and a bunch of personal lubricants and what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always like a news story.
Although we have done that.
Okay. I was saving that for like the second or third hangout.
All right.
Where we'd actually get a Shetland pony.
Okay.
And then come in and do it. But you have to, truly, it comes from, you have to admit, it comes from the news.
Oh yeah, the news is so dirty.
The news
Just in general.
Well, we had a
You
guy.
should see my newsroom.
And I said, and I say Shetland pony because that was in the news yesterday. We had the comic Donnell Rawlings, and he's just like, dude, you got to stop. You got to stop on the Shetland pony story. The guy romanced a pony.
Yeah.
You probably saw that.
Took it into the woods.
Yeah, took it in the woods. Yeah,
It needs some privacy.
apparently the barn not dirty enough.
No.
Let's go to the woods where I feel really dirty.
Real easy.
I can't wait to take him to see 50 Shades of Grey, the pony. All right, let me see if I get another one here. Another question. Where did Chuck the intern go? That's a very good question. Chuck the intern left to pursue a career outside of radio, but he's still doing this kind of stuff, right?
Yes.
I mean, you talk to Chuck more than anybody.
Works for his brother at a company called Hamtech, and he basically does production work for them to present to the military. They have a lot of contracts in the military.
Gotcha.
But he's doing very well, and his band Audio Sauce plays out all over the place. I'm sure they're playing out this
Yeah,
weekend.
if you see Audio Sauce, that's Chuck's
Chuck.
band, and you can go out and say hi to him. That's kind of cool. Shelley, for you, have you ever had a wardrobe malfunction in the studio?
Yeah, one time I ripped my pants like SpongeBob. I ripped my pants right down the butt crack of them, and didn't know how to handle. I remember the engineer gave me some like electrical tape to hold it back together.
That's because that's what engineers do.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Like, take care of your butt tear.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. You've almost had Nipplegate a couple times. I don't know if we ever actually told you, though. Would it be wrong of us?
Yeah.
Would it be really wrong? It's just like, okay.
That's close.
Kind of like a sunrise.
But you know what?
Just
Is
like
that really an issue? Does that really bother women?
No, we're
Those
almost doctors.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
It really does.
Yeah.
Why?
I
would
don't think we want
Yeah.
you to see our nipples.
Oh,
No?
Sure.
Are you
If
sure?
we're wearing a shirt, then we don't want you
Right.
to
Okay.
necessarily. It's kind of the private
I've
place.
seen the whole thing, but I didn't
Okay.
think that was really a big deal.
You see the whole thing?
No,
Oh.
no.
You need to
there's another more
Wabba,
wardrobe
wabba, wabba, wabba.
in the future. No idea.
Let's see here. Shelley, another question for you.
Again.
Yes, Shelley.
Yes.
When you decided you wanted to work in broadcasting, did you ever see yourself having such a cool job?
No.
Did you decide that you wanted to work in broadcasting?
It was that accident of I heard the former news chick saying that she needed an intern, and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of cool.
Mhm.
So here I am, all these years later.
Yeah. Give them the evolution. How did it work? So you were the intern for Nikki Reed, who did the news.
Right.
Then you were the night jock, right?
After I did promotions,
Did you
I
do promotions? You did
overnights.
promotions, yeah.
I worked everything here. Ended up doing 7 to midnight.
Yeah.
And then with cutbacks and stuff, I ended up
Yeah.
doing like 6 jobs.
With cutbacks, you got onto the morning show. There you go.
That's
That's
how
kind of
it
the way
was.
that works.
Yep.
That's kind of neat, yeah.
Yeah.
When we want you to go downhill, we push you into the morning show. Morning show is one door short of like Christmas tree lock out here.
I went from doing the 7 to midnight shift
Yeah.
and partying all night to having to get up at 3
Oh,
o'clock in the
that
morning
sucks.
to come into work every day. So
Yeah. I'll give you that. That's
it's a huge change. Yeah.
yeah, that's tough.
So
All right.
no, I didn't think it would be this cool, and yes, it is awesome.
All right, here's a good question. A lot of people have asked this. Why don't we have a rock guy? Is there a reason there's not a rock guy contest? You know, we have a rock girl every year.
I thought we do. I thought we have a rock.
Rock guy! Yeah! Let's see there.
There you go.
That's
See,
sweet.
we have a
You
rock
gotta
guy.
admit.
So
Yeah.
answer.
Would
There you
a
go.
rock guy thing, would that attract a large enough audience?
Well, I just think look at the ratio of girls to guys
Yeah,
here,
right.
and I too can appreciate a good rock girl. So
Yes.
that being said,
So we don't need any more of the sausage party. is
I
what you're
mean,
saying.
who here would like a rock guy?
Okay. Well, come on, Hunter.
I would love a rock guy. And that's why I go 100
stroke
times
it a little.
100 for this guy right here.
God, when I wouldn't give just one day with that hair, man. Just one freaking day with that hair. Hey, who shows up the most without wearing pants? Anybody? Is there anybody that shows up to the show without wearing pants, and who does it most often? We've done underwear day. We did do underwear
That's a
day,
long
right?
time ago.
Yeah.
Jeez, I don't know.
We need to have pajama day. I think we could do pajama day one time. Let's see here. Here's one for the whole panel. What were your jobs? What other jobs have you had besides being on the radio? Let's start with you.
Telemarketing. Yay! I
Yeah, how'd
called
that
you and
feel?
annoyed you at work. It was not fun. I also worked at Bath and Body Works selling lotions.
Are you
Yeah,
did you stand in the mall and try to get people to put the lotion on?
Yeah. Mhm.
Did you tell them it is from the sea? It is from the Dead Sea. Why would I want something from the Dead Sea? On my living flesh.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to be good for you.
I don't
That's what
know,
I mean.
but things in that sea, they tend to die. You know what I'm saying?
Not good.
Yeah, not good. What were your jobs other than radio?
I had a whole bunch, because like you, I'm not the spring chicken here, but
Yeah.
I mean, from the
Yeah.
moment I
Next
could
question
work,
from
I've always worked.
AARP. Here we
I
go.
worked for, I was a paper boy. I
Right.
worked for a supermarket. I sold beef. I painted. I did landscaping. I
Yeah.
worked for Pepperidge Farm as a sales manager. I owned a route. I
Let
worked
me
for
ask you this,
Kai's.
though. I
worked
know
for
you did
Pfizer.
a million jobs. Was there one you really thought was going to be your life's work or your career?
When I moved here, I always wanted to be in radio, but I didn't
Yeah.
think there was a way that I could get into it. But when I moved here, I had a Pepperidge Farm bread route that I purchased because I thought, what these franchise owner operators make great money and whatnot, and I'm gonna go do that. I was on that route for 3 weeks and realized, oh my gosh, I'm in my 20s here, and the last thing I want
Just
to
my
do
nightmare.
is just, no offense, I mean, it's
No.
just not for me. I just
Right.
don't want to drive a truck for the rest of my whole
Doesn't
entire life.
speak to you. Yeah.
No, so
But you always smelled raisin cinnamony, and that's good. I mean, you gotta admit, that's kind of nice pumpkin spice, lavender, coconut.
what's funny is people will ask me every now and then, do you
I have a lotion for that.
You know,
Do you?
even though you don't work for Pepperidge anymore, do you still buy Pepperidge products? I buy Pepperidge Farm products all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, it's just 2 words, Milano cookies.
Yes.
Adam, what have you done other than this?
I was a landscaper to start. I worked at McDonald's. I
Nice.
Worked at
Dude, that's work.
a hotel. Yeah, it is work.
It
There's
is
nothing
work.
easy about that.
No.
I worked for a hotel overnight, night audit guy.
Oh, so that was you looking through my fence.
Yes.
That was not me. I Worked, my first job down in Virginia was in a kitchen at Rob's Italian Grill. It was my first time ever.
You can do worse than that. I'll have the chicken
Did
brine.
that for 5 years. And I stumbled upon this job, so here I am.
Yep, fell into it.
What about you?
Oh man, I get a million jobs. I like you. I get a million jobs. I had a whole other career. I was a graphic artist for 8 years before I did this. Fell into this radio thing. My neighbor had a radio show. He invited me down to hang out. I hung out there. They offered me a job, and 30 years later, I'm doing this. But I had graphic arts.
Dance instructor?
Ballroom dance instructor. Gas station attendant. Let's see, I sold clothes at the mall. I sold carpet cleaning door to door. Stuff like that. Oh yeah, there's a good gig. Let your kids do that. That's fun. Drop them off in a question. I was the kid that got out of that white van. You hate me. That's how come I dispatch these people on my porch. That's why I have no problem with it at all. Get off my porch. I'm that guy because I did that job. I know how this deal goes. So yeah, I've had a bazillion of those jobs. The ballroom dance teacher job was creepy. It's kind of weird because there's so many different people and you're kind of intimate with them. You are holding each other at the waist and
a lot of man on man.
There's a little man on man. I had to learn to do everything backwards and forwards, depending on who you're teaching. If you're working with a couple, you got to know both parts.
Yeah.
That kind of
Did you
stuff.
dance man on man?
I have danced.
That.
I have had to dance man on man. Now, come on, dude. We're going back this way. Yeah, and it's no wonder I clearly have an alcohol problem because there's no way to decompress from that action.
What's that?
When a 75, 80-year-old bony-fingered hand is coming up your thigh, yeah, that's a waker-upper.
What's the old saying? Give a man a lap dance.
Yeah, and you learn how to fish or something like that.
Teach him a lap dance, and he'll be lap dancing for
A lifetime. Nice. Very, very nice. So, how did everybody find their way into the radio business? You told your story already. You were an intern. Did she said, Nikki Reed said on the air she needed an intern as a result of a gaffe.
Yes, was joking.
Right. But you jumped up.
Thought it would be cool.
Right.
I was like, man, I could do that.
Okay, that's cool.
You
got in.
I did free sportscasts when I first started working for Pepperidge Farm in New York out of college.
Right.
I was actually a thrift store manager. And I would get to the thrift store because my now ex-wife and we only had one car. She dropped me off literally 2 hours early for work because she had to go to work.
Right. She liked AM, by the way.
Yeah. So she still does. And I shouldn't have said that, but anyhow,
That's a joke.
she dropped me off, and there was a radio station right across the street, and I ended up befriending the morning show guy, who to me I thought had the worst morning show name, Damian Moss. I just didn't. It was a great name.
You didn't see that going far.
But he invited me over to be on the air one morning, and then thought it went very well, and then said anytime you want to stop by. And I became the Sports Phantom, and they called me the Sports Phantom because he didn't know when I was going to show up or if I'd show up. So he would
that way we wouldn't really have to plan on it.
He would say, and maybe we'll get a visit from the Sports Phantom. So
Phantom.
that's how I really fell in love with radio, but still didn't know how to get in. And then when I got down here, after I got out of the Pepperidge Farm route, after I sold that route, I ended up going to work selling radio for what is now ESPN. And also Eagle.
Sure.
And and honestly, Jimmy Ray Dunn was a guy
who is a great guy, by the way. And a little bit later, I'll tell you really what happened.
He actually, like Damian Moss, saw something in me which was really cool, encouraged me. And on a couple occasions talked to the program director trying to get me out of sales, or at least can he come in early and just be on the air
and hang out with
and they completely said no on that. And then I ended up over here as the promotions guy and fell ass backwards.
And there you go. And the short version of that is Adam's story, right, Adam? Promotions guy.
Yeah, started in promotions and just kept grinding away, and eventually.
But you went to broadcasting school, so all of us. Shelley's you have a degree in broadcasting, right?
I do, yeah, communications.
From
ODU, representative.
Sweet. There you go.
Go
Monarchs.
Yeah. Well, I got mine back in Michigan at Specs Howard University.
Specs Howard University.
I moved down here shortly after, took a few years off, and then I was actually on my way down to quit a job at the Virginia Pilot. I was selling newspaper subscriptions, which
that's a tough gig.
It wasn't going so well,
Yeah.
so on my way down there, I actually heard about there was an opening at FM99.
Wow.
And so on my way back home from quitting the job, I gave him a call, and I sat down with Dave Taylor and Sonia and got hired on as a promotion.
Yeah. And then, so how long did you work in promotions before we glommed onto you?
2 years.
Was it 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About 2 years.
And then we had a situation. Your now husband transitioned out of morning show producer guy job to like full-time making commercials and doing that kind of stuff here at the radio station. And so we needed somebody to do that job for us. And now he's since moved on to a company that's
He's doing his own
represented
thing, yeah.
by a lizard. And so we needed to find someone. So we immediately, you go to who's in the house.
Adam's
Who
in
can
the
do
house.
this job?
Adam's
in the house. And you had already been working here on the weekends, like not just doing promotion stuff, but running some of the shows, and you kind of knew the controls and things like that. I will tell the story because the number of people that write to us and they say, how do you get into the radio business or how do you do this? And my advice is always, you got to be in the building when someone's needed. Whether you're a degreed professional or not, it doesn't matter, because when someone is needed, when something needs to happen like right now.
But it's also not just that easy, because people think you could just walk in, be the intern, and then be the morning show host next week. Well, you've been here for 15 years, 20 years, 20 years as the morning show host. Yeah. So, there hasn't been people coming in as an intern and then becoming the morning show host.
Exactly.
I've been here with the station for like 15 years now, starting as an intern back then. And it took me, I didn't get on the morning show until like 8 years after being here.
That's true.
So
you don't start on the morning.
A lot of time, yeah. You got to work a lot of crazy hours. It takes a lot of time to get there.
Plus, there's like rules on how this stuff works, and I don't mean internal rules, but just general good broadcasting practices. And you can't break the rules until you know how to operate within them. And that'd be the same for anybody's job. But if you think about it, people think many times you think you can walk in and just pick something up and start doing it. There's a little bit more to that. Not a whole lot more, I'll tell you that. Showing up here is the challenge. We all roll in. Rod, you're the first one here. What time are you here?
3:30.
Rod gets here at 3:30 every morning. He gets here at 3:30. So I'm here at 4:05. You've already been here for half an hour.
He's here at 4:10.
He's 4:10.
And Shelley's here
You're
at 4:30.
4:30, but you got to stay.
She's got to stay all day.
Yeah. She has to stay all day. I don't know where that rule came from.
I'm here till 2.
You know what the thing that is tough, I ran into Cheryl Taylor, who used to work for Wavy recently, and we were talking about getting out of bed, and she was so happy she doesn't have to get out of bed anymore. And she said to me, what time do you get up in the morning? Like 2:45? And I said, I get up literally around 2:55. I've already showered the night before. My clothes are in the bathroom. I'm out the door.
You're like a fireman.
I'm out.
You're like ready to go.
Yeah.
He's got it's almost like bat suits, pole.
I'm out the door on most days in 6 minutes. 6 minutes, and that includes brushing the teeth and going to the bathroom. 6 minutes. And she said, I hate you. And I said, why? She goes, I would have to get up at 2:45 just because of makeup.
Oh, I never thought. Yeah, the TV people. That's insane to me.
And I have such an advantage because first, I'm a guy, and secondly, I'm bald. So I don't even have to worry about work.
What?
Yes, see, there's nothing up here at all. I don't have to worry about fixing my hair or anything. So it's kind of a pain, to get up that early if you're a girl and have to get all done.
I've been skinny lately. I haven't been wearing underwear, so that's
really?
Is
that
time? Exactly. Something on today, so.
I like that.
Truth be told,
Yeah, go ahead. I knew you were going to be out hugging guys today.
I actually thought this was the Google Hangout. So I'm also not wearing underwear. So.
Adam's hosting his own Hangout this week.
Let's see.
Let's see it. Here we go. Oh, wait. It's the Antiques Load Show. It's time for prizes. Yes. Nice.
Is this thing rated? Can you do that?
Oh, you can do it.
Oh, yeah.
It's the internet. There's no. Yeah, you know what? If you're foolish enough. Knowing this crowd, if you are foolish enough to light this thing up in your office, you're on your own. So.
There
you go.
Can we say bad words?
You can say and do whatever you want to do. I mean,
I'm scared too.
But remember that someone is recording this. It's going to exist for all time.
Yeah, I've done worse, but.
If you want a carpet bomb, F-bomb, that's totally up to you. I grabbed this. This is a list of the 10 straight people have been asked in job interviews. I'm going to go around the room. Are you ready? Here we go. All right. Which video game character would you like to be and why? And I'm going to start with you because you probably haven't yet.
I mean, of course, you think Laura Croft is where you go first.
Yes. That's an actual job interview question. It's the dumbest stuff.
But really, in Baldur's Gate, it's just so, I'm such a nerd. Why are you making me a nerd? Baldur's Gate,
Yeah.
the first one, there's the elf, the magic throwing elf, and she goes, Messenger, she throws out fire, she has blue hair, and that's who I always wanted
Cool.
to be. So
See?
yeah. You can name her whatever you want.
Yeah, see, I don't play enough video games. You know, I mean, I'm Mario, Luigi, or Yoshi.
Well,
I don't know. Guys on my back. Come on,
I
fellas.
see what Leo did.
Bring it on. Right? Video game character?
I gotta go Pac-Man.
Oh, see, that's good.
I like to eat that shit, you know what I'm saying?
Heard that. God damn it.
Boom! Oh, he threw one out there.
Oh! Oh, it's my
Okay.
turn.
Adam.
I'd be Laura Croft.
Would you?
Good
Yeah,
answer.
She has got a bang.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Show me Laura Croft.
Bang,
Bang,
number
Bonnie.
one.
Ding, 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 ding.
That was Laura Croft.
All right, next question. Who wins a fight, Superman or Batman? Come on. Come on.
They made
I
it,
know who
They
wins.
made it so Superman can't lose, but I'm going to root for
Yes,
Batman.
Superman cannot lose.
Can't.
You can't defeat Superman. There's nothing Batman has that can beat Superman.
What if Batman has a utility belt full of kryptonite? Gotcha!
Oh, okay. Maybe. If his utility
If
belt is
he
filled
did
with
have
kryptonite.
Yeah.
But where would he get
Does he
this?
have a record of this, though? I don't think he
so.
does.
You know, no offense to
He
people
does
like
prepare,
Superman,
though.
but Superman kind of blows. I mean,
He's just unfair.
he's just, he's just blessed
Superman?
to have the power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just unfair.
But you ever notice he never got shot in the face?
Yeah.
They never shoot him in the face. They
Yeah.
always shoot him in the S. You know what I mean? Right in the big letter S.
You should find
Yeah.
this Superman and shoot him in the face.
See what happens.
And
That's smart ass.
And you
Yeah.
heard the question, why can Superman stop a bullet with his hand, but then
Yeah.
you throw a gun at him and he does?
Interesting.
Batman's so much cooler.
Yeah.
So he is cool.
He is.
We're being told that
What's
the camera angle is way too bright in the Hangout space. Sorry, your Hangout space is a little bit too
Oh, I apologize.
bright.
Hey,
Hey,
I can take my
hello.
own.
Wow. You're making a long neck out of it.
Yes, I am.
Yes.
I tend to
What
do
else?
it.
What else?
Shelley, what's the best place your husband has taken you on a date? I'm new to the area. I'm looking for a Valentine's Day thing. Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of crazy when it comes to food and stuff.
Mhm.
Do we agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So we go to like all I call them hippie places because it's all organic, free range chicken and that
Oh,
kind
yes.
of stuff.
Yes. Pasha?
Yeah, I love Pasha. I
Downtown?
love Pasha. Pasha, fruitive. I freaking
How do you say
love
it? Pasha meze? Or
Yeah.
is that how you
That's how I
say
say
it?
it.
It's delicious.
Right. It really is.
No, it's great.
Is
It's
it
really,
is
really
it
good.
food?
It's like
It's
Turkish
food.
food,
Yes.
but they have a lot of vegetarian dishes there.
They have vegan, vegetarian stuff. They
Whatever
have
you want,
gluten-free,
but not only
gluten-free. No.
Not only.
You can get like
you can get whatever you
lamb
want.
and all kinds of meat. There's
Middle
lots
Eastern
of
dish.
meat.
It's delicious. Yeah.
So those are my kind of
Is that your
places.
date place?
Yeah,
Where's your
that's-
date place? Valentine.
We have so few dates. And Valentine's night falls on the same night as an Admiral's home game.
Yeah.
Are
Are you kidding me? Wait a second. Wasn't your anniversary on the same night as the Admiral's home game? How many times can you
Okay,
use these
wasn't that
speakers as an
opening
Yeah, it
excuse?
was.
Yeah.
And I had to go to a wedding in Nashville this year.
So that
Which
was a
actually,
great.
it turned out all right, but
Yeah.
you know,
Nashville's a great town.
it's a fun town. If I gotta get in the car and take my wife somewhere to eat, and she's picking the place,
Right.
and
It's gonna be-
it's gonna be Il Giardino.
Oh, Il Giardino down by the ocean front.
Correct.
The venerable Il
Yes,
Giardino.
the food's always good.
Where's yours?
I don't really have one.
You got a
But
date
may I
place?
suggest
A romantic date place. Yes.
PBR where Rock Girl Marine is going to be at?
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of good people up there. It's a good
Yeah.
vibe, a lot of good drinks, busy.
Drinks and dance and
Yeah,
whatnot,
yeah,
whatever.
Good company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's where I would suggest.
There you go.
If we go out, we usually go to the Funny Bone Comedy Club. I'm not even kidding. That's like the place
That is
I
really
go.
a great place.
I don't go to like
Yeah.
clubs to see bands play too
I don't
much
want- yeah.
anymore, but
It's not like it's commercial fest, but you can't really go wrong when you go to the Funny Bone.
well, yes.
You don't have to make small talk, and it really is funny.
Yeah, and when you're
It really is
married
funny
for
every time.
10, 20
Yeah.
years, it's still gonna be fun going to the funny bone because you don't have to talk.
All right.
Is the show so awesome because of all the Michiganians?
Probably.
I'm thinking that too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, that's right there.
I can't argue with
I'm
that.
from there, Grand Rapids.
I'm from-
Oh, where are you from?
I'm from here.
See, you're from there.
Oakland
And
County.
I spent my summers in Oakland County.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sterling Heights, right there by the Oakland Mall.
I'm not from Michigan.
Yeah.
I'm from, if you go this way, I was actually born in Brooklyn, New York.
Yes, well done.
Yes, very, very nice. You're a little bit farther away than I was. Was there ever a show where dead air happened not due to technical issues?
Yes.
That's a
Probably.
good question.
Not due to technical issues, like no one had anything to say, or
No, that doesn't ever happen.
no. Oh my gosh.
Plenty of
you guys.
words in that
It's usually
room.
too much at the same time.
Yeah.
I can think of a moment when I first started. I had to work overnights into the morning show,
Yeah.
and it got tiring, and I mean really tiring at times. And there was one particular night where, God help me, I probably shouldn't admit to this, but it was the old regime, and we're going back like 15 years.
Yeah.
I was so freaking tired. I thought, let me just put Pink Floyd The Wall on, and
And get 8 minutes.
well, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Who's
Right.
listening? So I put it on, and I just put my head down, and I woke up, and we were probably off the air for a good 20 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Fortunately, we didn't miss any spots because it was supposed
Yeah,
to
we
be
have
like
to play the commercials.
Yeah.
Those pay our salaries, so
Yeah,
that's
so-
important.
that worked
Pink
out.
Floyd, we can play anytime.
But I'll tell you what, I was really refreshed from the morning show.
Did you feel good that
Oh,
day?
very
nice.
Yes.
When I first started in radio, a guy named Tony Gates, who is still on the radio in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Tony Gates, he brings me up to the radio station. I had already been there hanging out with my buddy who did the morning show. And they want me to actually learn how to run the controls and stuff like that. And so he brings me up on Saturday. He says, all right, you can do anything you want to, just don't get me sued. And he walks out.
Wow.
I barely know even how to turn stuff on and off. So there was so much dead air. This is when it goes back when we were talking before about, you have an idea that you can do this because you've heard people do it so many times. Well, when everything you've brought to talk about is gone in about 38 seconds, you got nothing. And I mean, we had songs and stuff. It was so bad that the alarm down the hall kept going on because there was so much slack time. There's an alarm that warns everyone when the radio stations are off the air. This is because there were so many pauses between my sentences.
So
It was setting off the alarm.
you were Jim Roming it to like the 10th degree.
I was dying, dude. But it's like one of those baptism by fire, they say, where you jump out of the frying pan, right? And I remember I changed my name and came back the next night and never had that happen again. Now you can't shut my ass up. Then you couldn't get a word out of us.
You want to tell everybody his real name is Tim Wojciechowski?
Parker, Tim Parker. We live a long life. You may know I'm also doing the morning show on the Fox. You've probably seen me. Yeah. All right, let me see if there's another. There are many more questions than we could ever answer here.
Thank you for submitting that.
What is the funniest thing that you have been a part of? All right. There have been some awesome moments on the show. I have my own answer for this. So far,
Oh,
in your
God.
tenure on the morning show, what's the funniest thing that we've done
Funniest thing that we've done.
as a group?
Oh my God! Wait, pass. I'll
Really?
come
Are
back
you
to
gonna
me.
pass? You got one?
It's hard to say the funniest.
It's hard to say.
That is hard because we do a lot of funny. But man.
All right,
we were all in yoga pants, maybe.
Yeah, it was
When we were all wearing yoga.
Good.
Yeah. What was funny was when people were guessing the wrong butt. We have one girl, and she's got the girl butt.
Mhm.
Well, there were people that we all wore yoga pants once, and we put pictures of our butts up online, and you had to guess whose butt was whose. And the people that guessed wrong were so ashamed and felt so weird.
Like, you had
They wrote
though.
apology letters.
And you knew how to stand. You.
I was doing it on
to the
purpose. I was
side.
trying to. Yeah, I was working.
Doing it on purpose. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't live in New Orleans for nothing. You learned something down there. For me, the funniest thing that I was ever a part of on the morning show was when we sent our Meet the Intern to the hotel next door, dressed up. This goes back several years. Dressed up in women's lingerie in honor of then sportscaster Marv Albert, who was said to have invited someone up to his room and bit the guy, and it was a long story. But we had a plant in the room doing the play-by-play, and we sent him to the hotel next door, and he kept calling downstairs. The front desk kid would have to keep coming up, and me was a bodybuilder. He was huge, and he's wearing like this bustier, and he would answer the door. His voice is kind of like that. And the kid would bring him towels and water, and he'd keep trying to invite him in, and it just got out of control. And then finally he had to run down to the lobby and say that he got locked out of his room, and that could have gone bad in a lot of ways. Is there anything? Can you top that?
That was a pretty funny moment. Well, I've been involved in a lot of these crazy stunts.
Yeah, it's true.
And I remember checking into a hotel with a sheep.
Oh my God, that's right. That was awesome. All right, that may win.
And asking for well, check, and I got the room.
Valentine's Day.
I got the room.
It was Valentine's.
It was, and we actually had a live sheep. We went to this hotel. It's no longer
300-pound sheep.
Technically, it's a motel because it was one story.
Mhm.
It was a motel. Lowe's now
Motel.
now sits on top of where that thing was. So they were like, I guess they were running out of time and they were renting to anybody. We had no idea.
Yeah.
We just picked this motel just right up the street. Went in there with the sheep, and Chuck, the intern, was on the phone.
Yeah.
And the idea was for me to get a room and to let them know that I just walked the sheep into their lobby.
Oh yeah, into
and
the
I'm
lobby.
taking the sheep into a room to do God only knows what. I'm asking for extra sheets, wondering if there's plastic in the room.
We are baiting these people, and they're not biting. They just want their, $69 or whatever.
Yeah, they charge my credit card. Swipe the boom.
Boom, they're fine with that. You take that sheep
Yeah.
wherever you want to go. Whatever you do is fine.
Yeah.
He's got a sheep on Valentine's
Told me to
Day.
have fun when I left.
Have fun.
They told me to have fun. But I'll tell you,
You'll never meet another person in your life who took a sheep anywhere for work. Now, let's be honest.
but there's, as far as like things that have made me laugh to the
Yeah.
point where my jaw hurts, because
Yeah, those
to
are
me, I'm in the middle of this. I have to not laugh to make it
No,
work.
no, you're
So-
selling it.
I'm selling it. But I think back at there's so many bits that you've done that have made me laugh so hard that the jaw hurts. I remember the first
Oh,
time I
man.
heard you, Cliff Andrews, interview Shawn Michaels.
Yes, yes.
Oh, we made that up.
That was
Those
funny.
things,
That was
yeah.
funny.
God, that was so funny that
We got a lot of
my jaw
trouble
hurt
for that,
today.
too.
It's one of my favorites.
Turns out World Wrestling Entertainment isn't really entertained by that.
They eventually calmed down.
They were
They
cool.
eventually calmed
Poor
down.
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe's the producer. We've been knowing this guy for years. He sets up all the wrestler interviews, and he had no idea.
He was the one who failed to see the humor, which made the
Right,
whole
because
thing
it made
work.
he was
so
the
funny.
responsible part.
Yeah.
Well, they have a job to do, so do we.
Shawn Michaels thought it was funny. You could hear him talking like, "What the hell, man?" Yeah, that was great. So that's our funnies.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Any more questions? Let's see what else is here
There's literally like
in the
50,
stack.
60
I know.
questions.
There's gonna be no way we can get through them all, and
Well,
we
you have to
appreciate
do it
it being a
again.
part of it. I think we're gonna have to do it again. That's the way it's
I
looking.
think we're running low on time.
How do you deal with? Let's see here. How do you? Oh, that's the funniest thing. I'm sorry. I apologize. Let's see. I got a lot of these that are just blank. How's Chuck doing? We addressed that. Another funny thing. Let's see here. How do I get a job with you guys? Yeah, I think we talked about that before. That's pretty much what we said about just, for me, it's being in the room. You got to be in the radio station.
Well, put it in an application.
Yes,
It's
application
a
at
good
the front.
start.
There you go.
That's what I said.
Promotions, intern is kind of the entry level, and then you go from there.
Exactly. Or it could be the guy that thought of this idea once it hits the internet. So it could go either way. You could walk in here and be our boss one day. Come on. Well, he'll get out of rehab soon, but hey, listen, thanks for being a part of this.
Yeah.
I think we're winding down as the clock on the wall says. Hopefully we can do it again sometime. Next time, let's do pajama party. And then after that, let's do actual hangout. Instead of virtual hangout,
Okay.
let's just go to a bar.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Why are we messing with all these cameras? Let's cut out the middleman.
Plus,
Let's
the light
go
would
hang
be
out.
better. People want to see Adam's thing here.
Hey.
You can see how close we are. That's twice, yeah.
Hey, I'm
The
not
first
doing-
one's
Yeah,
free.
three times.
Three
One
times.
time we gotta call your house.
HR. Clean up.
I'm actually lefty.
Yeah. So it feels like somebody else.
It does.
Yeah,
The whole
that's
site
nice.
feels very
Yeah,
good.
Stranger danger.
Spent one day hugging guys, and now I'm doing this.
All right, let's see. Monday show. What's coming up on Monday? Ask Shelley. Get a question into Shelley at FM99.com. Valentine's gifts for you next week. Rock Road Marina this afternoon. The Polar Plunge tomorrow. Thanks a lot
And
for
a
watching.
luau.
Luau
Luau announcement.
Noon. 1 o'clock noon. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for hanging out with us.